Chris with Coldbreak here with another customer question. We've had a couple people reach out recently about leaks in their system, specifically their ColdOne. And just with the nature of draft systems, there are lots of connections in a draft system like the ColdOne. And so I wanted to talk you through each one of them and kind of use an example, go through an example of where all of the connections are in your system, just in case you do have a leak. We do hand build all of our systems here in Michigan, and all the regulators are tested. The CO2 cartridges come pre-packed, and then we hand crimp and connect all of the parts ourselves here. But that doesn't make it perfect. So there are a few things that you can check prior to reaching out to us and helping you find the leak. Okay, so let's walk through that for a moment. Let's look at the website here, and this just has some good pictures that I want to reference here. So looking at the back of the ColdOne, we were looking at the regulator. Okay. Now the very first one that you're going to notice, and let's start from the beginning, right? So when you screw on the CO2 cartridge, there is a connection between the cartridge itself and the regulator. Now, if you look underneath between this section, what you're going to find is, let's see if I can just throw this over it. So here, you're going to see that big dark O-ring right in the middle. So right here is a big dark O-ring. Now, it shouldn't fall out, but occasionally that can fall out. And so the first thing you're going to do is make sure that this is there. We do put an extra one on the regulator somewhere. We zip tie it. So that's the first place you're going to look. Make sure that that O-ring is there. I'm going to get rid of this and go back to the regulator. Okay, so if that O-ring is there, the next step is you'll notice that this threaded piece here goes into the regulator. This is threaded. It's a threaded barb, and this could be a leak point. So check here, and then the hose where it connects to the barb, this can also be a leak point. These are hand crimped and hand tightened. So you can try tightening this with a pair of needle nose pliers. And you can try to spin it. If it spins for any reason, that could be an indication that it's loose. So check these two connections. The other thing you can do is get some Dawn and some water on your hands and rub it all around there. And as the system is running, if you see any leaks, that should create some sort of bubbles or foams, and it tells you where the leak is coming from. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And as we follow the blue line down, it goes into the tower and then down to the beer coupler. And when we get into the middle here, goes the blue. We're going to follow the blue line. The blue line comes down and around and to the beer coupler. So the coupler has another barb fitting, just like the back, just like the regulator does. Excuse me. And let's zoom in here on this one. Sorry for apologies for the kind of blurriness of this. So as the blue tubing hits here, there's another hose clamp, and then there's another barb. That barb is screwed into the coupler, right? And then the coupler is connected to the spear. So if the spear isn't tight, gas can leak there. And then at the bottom of the regulator here, on the other side of this, there is a big black gasket that seals the connection between the spear and the coupler. If you look behind the coupler, there is a PRV valve, which is a pressure relief valve. This is also a connection. If you pull the ring on the back of it, it will let the gas out. If this isn't seated properly, it can let gas out. So that's like, if you count those all up, that's 9 connections. And one of the things that you can do, since most of the connections are here on the regulator somewhere, is to try to figure out which one of these connections is leaking. The easiest way to do that, and I'm going to put some video over this video to show you. We had a customer do this for us the other day, and we just said, hey, throw some Dawn into a spray bottle and spray on it, and then run your system. And then it should, if there's any leak there, it will bubble up, and it will show you exactly where the leak is. I would have to say 90% of the time, if your spear's not tightened all the way, that's where you're gonna see the leaks. So these couplers, they're one of the top of the line couplers that we can get our hands on, right? We don't actually manufacture the couplers ourselves, but they're the best that we can get our hands on. And so I'm not guaranteeing that these can't fail, but these are very nice couplers. So I doubt that this is your issue, but you know, my best guess is if you're having a leak, it's probably somewhere in the tubing. You know, if you nicked it with a knife, or if this just isn't seated all the way, it can cause a leak. So it is possible. We just have to find it, right? It doesn't mean your system's broken. We just have to fix it, right? We have to find out where it is and fix it. So if none of that helps, reach out to us. And let me get rid of this stuff there, and the website. And okay, so if none of that helps and you're still having issues, please reach out to us. We will walk you through it. It helps if you send us a video or a picture of your system. We manufacture everything here in-house, and we can fix it and take care of you, and we stand behind our products. So if at any point, please reach out, support@Coldbreak USA, and direct email is Chris@Coldbreak USA. Comment, like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.